I reached out to this ad hoc group called Foster Stitches because of work that our Women's Fund at WACF is doing and has been focused on trauma-informed practice for the last 2 years. And so I just reached out to them, and Ashley Hansen gave me a call back. We had a great conversation about what was really going on. And at the end of that conversation, I realized that there was a moment here where Canby-Ojai County could really lean in and do what it does best if we could just tell the story and connect some dots, which is what the Community Foundation often does, is just connect the dots. They needed a fiscal host. They're an ad hoc group of people whose hearts are so big they have to live outside of their bodies a little bit. And they needed someone who could give them that structure. I made a phone call. Bethel Lutheran Church said, tag us in. We'll do that for them.
We've always been passionate about foster care. We wanted to start taking in clothing donations. I did not realize that it was going to be as crazy as it was. So many people started donating clothing. It started as just a clothing thing. That is all we have space for right now. And so we store everything in totes by size and by gender. And then we are not able to take things like pack and plays, strollers, things that people want to donate. We have not been able to take because we do not have the space for it. It has been like my personal passion to have a store for these kids to shop. You have a kid that might have a sexual abuse situation that's happened with somebody and they were wearing stripes that day. I don't want to pack stripes for them. If that's something that triggers a trauma, and that's not something everybody always thinks about. It's not, will they like this or not? It's, will it trigger trauma? And to be able to have a place for them to shop would be amazing.
They are victims in what's happening, and they are powerless to do anything about it. We, as the adults in the community, can be that warm virtual hug to say, yep, this is hard. This is really hard. But we can help it be a little bit better by making sure you have what you need and making sure the people who are safe that are taking care of you right now have what they need to make sure everything's going to be okay. So in addition to finding a fiscal host, which was important, we can't get all of these compassionate, caring people to give money if there's no means for them to do so. We also needed to find a home for this store. So I made a couple of phone calls, got a few folks who own some commercial property thinking about if they could be a part of the solution. And then I went back to our Women's Fund, who is a powerhouse group of women who have just put a line in the sand and said, we're going to shine the light in the dark places in this community, and we're going to say this is not going to happen to our kids. And when I explained what Ashley had shared, immediately they just went into action. And so Wilmer 10 investors agreed that they would provide a space, a confidential space, for at least 2 years for this experiment for the Foster Stitches boutique to get started. And they would do so at a deep discount so that they could support the work and still provide the quality space that we were going to need. And so what we put together a budget, and we know that roughly what they need in cash is about $10,000 a year to pay those bills, internet, provide Ashley and the other foster families what they're going to need in a confidential way so they can support the kids. And also just to give us as community members a tangible way that we can help. You can certainly write checks and make that possible, but we can go through and think about, it's back to school time. I'm going to grab backpacks. I'm going to watch the Foster Stitches Facebook page where Ashley can tell me we're really short on teen clothes, that 12, 14, 16, 18 size men's smalls and mediums. Ashley's telling me they have nothing in the store in that size. If you are happy to do laundry, come pick up the stuff that just got donated and get it washed and put on hangers. Come hang it all up. There are lots of ways that the community can be part of giving that warm hug to those kids and those families through the boutique. We feel like we've got the fiscal host in place. We now have a space that we think we can make it work for the first 2 years. Our Women's Fund has agreed to put the first dollars into the pot to pay those bills, and the Community Foundation is going to match that. So we have about half of what we need, and now we need other people to say, I understand. My heart is here. I'm ready to help. I have the capacity, tag me in so that these kids and families can get what they need.